location. For example, Bruges is a well-known place because of the other film in Bruges.
See, everything starts from the script. What does your script demand? So, in PK, Anushka is supposed to be studying in some country in Europe. And going by the scenes, what we needed was, as Karan mentioned, was a place which has got an old world charm. It's got those old cobble streets, a town square, and water canals. So the first stage is you start obviously hunting for locations on the internet. You kind of browse all over the places, and there are many countries who come in also. They have film commissions who provide you pictures. So the first elimination happens on that stage. So we kind of found a few countries, and that's when Karan went out on a journey. And so we actually almost had zeroed down on Italy, where we found water canals were in Venice. But what was happening there was that we didn't find all the locations in one place. Like the canals were in Venice, then the town square we wanted was in Verona, the mountains were somewhere else, and so we had to really travel a hell of a lot for all those places. Till I saw the images from Bruges, and it just seemed like the right place where it had the canals, it had cobble streets, the town square, and everything that we wanted was in one place. And when we went and shot there, it was just fantastic. Even if I tell my people now, they all would jump up and they say, we all want to go back. Because nobody was really even traveling. We would get up in the morning, everybody had bicycles, and they would come onto location. Even Anushka, Sushant, all those people would cycle around, leave the bike wherever they want. In fact, Sanjeev lost a couple of bikes. He had to pay for it. And so that place has such an old world charm that for me, even when watching this now, was a huge amount of nostalgia, and I just want to go back again. In fact, I will do it as soon as the film ends. I want to go back and now, without worrying about the shoot, stay there.
So does that mean that your next film will also be in Bruges or somewhere? Carl will be very happy if that happens. How does it feel as a filmmaker? You arrive in a location, because this is really the first time that you're shooting, your past 3 films, hugely successful, but all shot here in India. And now, a sizable chunk, so to speak, going abroad. Was it another dimension to your experience? Was it easy to get people clear off the streets, or, just to make the whole thing happen as you had it in your head?
Yeah, you're right. This is the first time I've shot outside. And that also, as I said, the script drives you to a place. So, since I've never shot, my immediate worries were, okay, how will this whole process be? How will the visa happen? Which is the line production company will be shooting there with? Who are those people? Are they honest? Are they good people? Will I have trouble with them? Will I find the equipment? So, obviously the first stage was visas, and we happened to bump into Pinky, who was there she is. And I think Sanjeev called up the consulate, and she landed up in office, and she then introduced us to Carl and Edward, and they made the process of visas so easy for us. So we didn't really have to worry about how the unit would go, how the equipment would go. Then the next interesting thing happened was the line producers who were there. We were in fact talking to a couple of people, and then finally we ended up working with a company called Zar Films. And they turned out to be such fabulous people. So your biggest worry, as I said, okay, after locations, the next biggest thing is who are the people you're working with. And that's a choice we make even when we make films in India. I always say that work with a less talented man, it's okay, but he should be a good human being. That's primarily important, because you're going to spend a huge amount of time working with that person. So these were such wonderful people. As you can see, they were singing, they were dancing with us. By the time we left, nobody wanted to leave. In fact, Anushka was saying, can't we shoot the rest of the film here? So we left happily, and in fact some of them landed after the film got over. Some of them came here to attend some weddings. Somebody from a crew got married here. So all in all, it was a Wonderful experience, yeah.
A totally positive
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
It's going to be one for the memory books. Yeah. Something you just said, good human being. And you've always portrayed shades of this, how good can a human being be? How does one start to really be a good human being, which you've also done and explored. It's a theme you seem to explore a lot, isn't it? In Lagero, Munna Bhai also did that. How to be a good human being. I mean, you know, 3 Idiots was also about just doing good. Yeah, you know what the question is. You don't know the question.
I'm waiting for it.
Is there another exploration about being a good human being in PK? I don't want the story.
See, Abhijat is here. Abhijat, we write together. And I think somewhere deep down, I guess we guys are probably activists at heart. And so it's not a conscious effort to say, oh, we're going to make a film where we're going to preach people how should we be a good human being. But that's happened by and by. If you're talking about 3 Idiots, which is a film about colleges, education became an integral part of it. So similarly in PK, yes, there is, we're in fact tackling a big issue, a very big issue, which I think is very relevant to today's times. But we've done it in a way that it's entertaining. You always have to sugarcoat the message. If you don't sugarcoat the message, nobody's going to, walk to the theaters and watch your film. Nobody wants to be given a moral science lesson. Especially when you're paying $200, $300 to buy a ticket, you don't walk in and say, oh, moral science? No. So you entertain them, and by, if you can, in a layer also say what you feel like. And these are things we strongly felt about. So that's the way we've been doing it all the time.
Yeah, 3 back-to-back successes. The 2 Munna Bhai and then 3 Idiots. What's the pressure like in your mind? It's coming up now. PK is just there.
Yeah, I need all those beers. I need all those beers. I need to be drunk for next.
All those beers. God, I hope you got some more beers tonight, apart from just that. Outside, okay. We're looking forward to the Belgian beers, but what's the pressure like?
You know, I think this is something we do to ourselves. If I go back and look at my first film, when I made the first film, I was under no pressure. I made the film, my friends saw it, my family saw it. I went home and slept. Friday morning, I woke up at 2 in the afternoon when one of my assistants called up. He says, should we go to the theaters and see how people are reacting? And then it occurred to me, yeah, I think I should also go and see what the audience is thinking. It didn't matter to me at all. We were happy that we made a great film. But to be honest, after that, somewhere a pressure does, because you're investing larger amount of money in the film, you want the film to be liked. But what I can say that we've never bowed down to commercial pressures and say, okay, we're going to do something, probably, sell ourselves or sell our soul to make a film. We made what we believed in. Absolutely, till date, we made what we believed in. But to be honest, yeah, the pressure is there. The only man who's not under pressure is this man who's sitting out there. He keeps telling me every day, yeah, we made a great film. And I said, okay, 19 December we'll know.
It's a nice support to have. It's a nice support. It's good to know that you're somebody there relieving his pressure. But again, something interesting you just said about not bowing to commercial pressure. That comes from what? It comes from in you. It comes with, of course, the wonderful team that you have. Does it come from an innate confidence? Does it come from a storyline? Does it come from knowing I've got a real good story which I'm going to tell, and the commercial success will follow? Does it come from that?
Filmmaking is a process where, unlike anything, if you're looking at it as a commercial venture, first of all, I don't look at it like that, but if you still look at it as a commercial venture, possibly in any other business, you still might be able to judge, okay, I put in this kind of money, I will make this kind of money. In a film, you really can't judge what the other person is going to like, especially in a country like India, where you look at the literacy level from north to south, east to west, different kind of people, different kind of tastes. So, the path we've chosen, we say that, okay, here's a script we are writing, do we like it? Are we laughing while writing it? Are we getting emotionally choked while writing it? If we like it, let's go that path. Because if you try and judge, preempt what people are going to like, eventually you might end up making a film which they don't like, and even you don't like, because you did it for them. So if we do it for ourselves, then at least there's a couple of people around who like it. And because it's a very scary thing, you know. I'll tell you an incident. While Munnabai MBBS was happening, my first film, a filmmaker came to me, I can't name him. He said, have you gone mad? You're making a film with Sanjay Dutt, who's an action hero, and you're doing a film like this, which is like a feel-good kind of a film, and you're making a film in a hospital? How can you make a film? Your entire film is set in a hospital. How can you shoot all your songs in Bombay? You have to go to Switzerland, you have to go to Europe, Bruges, nobody said that time, but but you have to go to Europe to shoot a song.